One, two. All right, let's roll.
Welcome. You're listening to the Saddle Up Podcast,
Where we discuss everything related to UTRGV athletics, past or present. We'll catch up with old teammates, friends, and take you down memory lane.
with exclusive interviews.
This is the Saddle Up Podcast, the voice of your covered walkway streets.
So dope.
This is gonna be awesome.
Stay tuned for new episodes every week.
From Bronx Village to the Fieldhouse, we'll cover it all.
Hell yeah, dude. Carpe diem.
So saddle up and let's go.
Let's go. Saddle up, partner.
Good people, Saddle Up Podcast. What's going on? Welcome to another great episode. And this week, G, I mean, we've been trying
I
to
can't get over this, man. We literally, I know we say we've tried to get people on the show before, but it's been like, okay, we've only had a podcast for a year, I think.
Yeah.
And we've been trying to get Becky on for like 15 years.
15 years. Yeah.
I don't
We were trying to get her on a podcast before there was podcasts invented, you know?
We've been trying to get Becky on before this podcast was even born. So
you know what?
that's how
I saw
long.
the podcast for Lalo, and I know he was like, "I'm sorry, I'm busy," and I was like, "I'm with you, Lalo," because that's how I felt with with G trying to get this scheduled. So, but I'm super happy and stoked to be with the two of you. I'm just like ready for the TMZ moment questions and
Absolutely. I hope you studied your speed round, this or that question. That's like such a huge staple of the show. But even better than that, Becky, is that we get to tell people what Becky Boykin is doing. I mean, all-star volleyball, volleyball, everything.
Yeah, you were an absolute stud. Yeah, you were a stud.
I mean, look, when we talk about jumping ability, I thought Matt had good jumping ability. I thought Matt had a vertical, okay?
I wish I still had that vertical. I can barely run. But it's pretty cool to look back at some of those pictures where they captured me like jump serving.
Oh yeah.
It really takes you back. But yeah, this body, not so much.
It's not that we're old, Becky. It's just that we're seasoned. That's it.
I like that. Thank you. I'm going to start using that. Seasoned.
Yeah,
We are not old.
seasoned.
I need to shift the terminology.
Yeah. I do remember seeing some of those photos, though, that you mentioned. Your knees were like above the net. Like it was like,
It's amazing.
crap,
It's amazing.
Oh, man. Good times. Good
Yeah.
times.
So where are you at
what's
now? Like, what are you doing now? Like, before we get into the nostalgic stuff and memory lane, like, where are you at now? San Antonio, Austin? We know you're married. Quintero now. Congratulations.
So I live in San Antonio, and I came up here probably now about 14 years ago through through work. I got promoted, and it brought me to San Antonio. And I was somebody that I love the Valley. I was never somebody that said can't wait to get out of here. I enjoyed being raised in the Valley. I mean, it's a good place. A lot of
What high school did you go to?
Go Mustangs. We didn't have this when I was there, but I think this is Mustangs.
Is that McAllen?
McAllen Memorial.
Yeah.
Wow, the house that Brian Molina built.
Yes,
and Lisa Yanez.
There's a
And
lead
Lisa
of
Yanez.
how we're all connected. Like I know you
Yes.
both know Brian. I know Brian. I know Larissa. Like it. I mean,
Crazy.
such awesome memories.
Lisa went to Lisa Yanez Memorial.
Yes,
So.
I mean, Lisa. I mean, there's. Even this conversation, the weaving, but like there's a picture of me, Lisa Yanez, Sita Jimenez. I don't know if you've all interviewed her.
Of course.
And then
of course.
Belinda Lara, she was from FAR, and then myself, and we were all like laying down. So the camera, of the newspaper was looking down at us. We all had our heads in a circle. And I remember they did a story about us because we were all playing volleyball at UTPA, and we were all from the Valley. So we were, homegrown right there.
That's
Becky,
awesome.
you won't believe this. And I had to send the picture to Matt, but I haven't heard from Belinda Lara in forever, right?
Yep.
I go to a teacher training, and she is one of the principals at FAR San Juan, and I'm working that field right now, and we're training, and she's looking at me and she goes, "Man, you look familiar." And I said, "Yes, you do too." And I texted Matt. I said, "Matt, do you remember Belinda Lara?" And he goes, "Man, I think so." So took a picture and I sent it to Matt, and she's like, "Oh my goodness!" And then you just mentioned her. 20 some years, 30 years, I hadn't heard that name, and in the past week, Belinda Lares
Three, 4 times. And he ran into her.
It's crazy. She's apparently the principal at the school where my cousin works. So she texted me some months back. She's like, "Oh my gosh, you're not going to believe who my principal is." And I guessed it. I was like, "I bet you I can guess." And sure enough, I was right.
Wow. So Becky, you all went, it's such a small world. You went McCallum Memorial, what was, and you were, again, like anybody that grew up in the Valley, and Matt and I love talking to athletes and, about being raised in the Valley, being an extraordinary athlete in the Valley. How did you get into the athletics as a young kid? What sports did you play? How did you get into athletics? How did your parents play that role? How'd that family upbringing play that role in the Valley to, for you to become who you became?
Get you to being a stud volleyball player that you were.
Yeah. It's such an awesome question because it really takes you all the way back, right, to childhood.
We want you to go there.
It does. So I don't know if you both know this, but I was raised by a single Hispanic, wonderful, awesome woman who lives with me to this day. So she's about to be 84 and she's in wonderful health. It all started with her. She was not athletic at all.
Yeah.
But she allowed me and my sister to explore anything we wanted, music, sports, anything.
I've met your mom once at a
Rayburn Elementary.
Yeah.
And they had on the dirt field, the kids would run and then they'd give them a blue ribbon. And I remember thinking, what's that? Everybody would get excited with the blue ribbon person. And I was like, I want one of those. And they, that's really where it started. They say, you just got to run fast so you can get first place. And so for me, it started with running.
Wow.
Elementary. And then I went to Morris. You know what? Here's a fun fact. I've been a horse my whole life. And what I mean by that is I went to Milam Elementary. So I was a Mustang. Then I went to Rayburn for just one school year. I was a Rocket then. I went to Morris Junior High, Morris Stallions. And then I went to Memorial Mustangs. And then I went to Bronx. I've literally been a horse.
Go Bronx.
But, my mom let us explore things. And I'll honestly remember this memory. When I went to Morris Middle School, I remember Larissa Molina. She was like this crazy, awesome basketball player. I had no idea what the game of basketball was. And, they'd say, you have to do this. And here, this is a foul and this is a free throw. I didn't know anything. I just tried out and I made it. And from there, my skills with sports also evolved. So it was volleyball, it was basketball, track. I literally tried everything. And my mom really just nurtured the talent and encouraged us. And that's what kind of just zoomed me right into college.
So when you graduated from Memorial, when you graduated high school, how excited, because I can talk to how excited I was when I graduated Bastrop and I was going into Pan Am and what to expect and what I wasn't cut out for or whatever. But how excited were you knowing that you were going to play volleyball for the local university? That's got to be kind of like a badge of honor for not all Valley athletes get to carry that. G got to carry that, Brian, Lalo, the Chuigueras, the Biancas of the world, right?
The Jenny Rays of the world in our
era. The Jenny Rays of the world, right? Bianca Torre, how the Citas of the world, right? How cool was that, to carry that badge, of
it was super cool. I didn't know what a big deal it really was, but people would be like, there's scouts here to see you. And I'm like, what does that mean? I was super naive. I was like, I'm just here to play. I just want to win. I just want to play. And I honestly had awesome teammates. I feel like I was part of a time where that whole group that I was with, we were all extremely talented. Even the 2 years before that, which my sister was a part of, it's like the Maritza, Monica, Renee, Corey, everybody. There were so many. That group was pretty amazing too. Lisa was a part of that one too, Lisa Yanez.
That's right.
So when I was being scouted, I got to travel to other universities too. And I just felt like I wanted to be home. Like, and it felt still really like a really big deal. And at that time it was Coach Segovia. I don't know if y'all remember.
We remember,
him. But him and that whole group, which Lisa was a part of, Marie, Nicole Gerlach. I mean,
keep dropping them, Becky.
Keep
they
dropping
were rock stars, and I felt really welcome during my visit. It was unmatched from the other visits, right?
Yeah.
And I just really thought, and I was like, you know, if I stay in the Valley, we'll have an awesome crowd, like an audience. And sure enough, we did. We had a pretty good support system locally. So that was really awesome.
I think I met your mom one day after a volleyball game.
I'm sure you both have met her. Like, she was at every single game.
Yeah, I remember meeting your mom. Sweet lady.
So it was pretty cool in that sense, but then also being able to play against people that were actually my high school rivals, like Sita, like Belinda.
Yeah.
I mean, we were rivals. So then to be like, okay, let's get over high school. We're team. We're a team now.
We got to get along now.
We got to get along. And, you know, they were pretty nice friendships that we had during that time.
It's, you know, what's crazy is they tell you the best friends you ever make are in college, right? I told that to my son.
I mean, look at you two.
Yeah.
You all have stayed connected. I think that's pretty awesome.
I don't like Matt very much. I mean,
I can tell.
Yeah, Becky, tell. You know how the team, you've kind of had to like each other for the team?
Yeah, for a little bit.
Get along for Saddle Up Podcast, continue down the road. It's continuing, but if they're gonna do a documentary on the behind the scenes stuff that happened with Saddle Up someday. But Becky, you can say you were part of that.
Yeah, you can say that you've got an episode, you've got a chapter in the book, right?
That's awesome.
You got a huge chapter in the book. But so Becky, you've been dropping some names, and we need to get some of those girls on.
We need your help to get some of these people on, Beck. Like,
let's do it.
Yeah,
I mean, it's because what's really interesting about what you all are doing with this podcast is it allows for us, you know, to feel good about going down memory lane and then laughing about some of the funny things, and then every one of us has such a different memory of it, yet we lived it together.
A different perspective. Exactly.
Like if I say something now about two other people and they watch this, they're going to be like, nuh-uh, like I didn't do that. I didn't say that. And it's like, yes, you did. I remember it because it was my core memory.
Let's go into that core. Let's go into that.
Yeah, let's go into that. Let's dive into that core memory, Beck. Let's do it.
Yeah. Which one? Like, what's the question? Like,
maybe Becky, what we want to know is what is like your favorite, you know, we'll go into the favorite game kind of because, you know, every athlete has our like standout highlight game. Oh my gosh, that was such a, you know, awesome thing. So kind of let that brew a little bit. But what was your, you know, I wanted like those teammates that you mentioned, you know, those relationships, those, you know, I'm wearing the cap, Becky. This is the 40th birthday of the GC Mike Mancias. We all got
that's awesome. Yes, Mike too.
The cap so we have so many stories. What's one of the best, you know, memories that you have together, whether, you know, playing together or outside of playing, you know, some of the funniest or best memories that you can think of to share with people?
You know, I've thought about what you guys might ask, all like preparing for an official interview, but you guys aren't going to hire me. But there are so many wonderful memories. But like from the traveling part that I honestly never wanted to go and explore and leave the city or Texas. And then I had that opportunity to fly everywhere, which was so cool to see different places.
Where the game of volleyball takes you, right? It's insane.
Yeah. And then remember our bus. You know,
I don't
know if the bus worked for you. It never broke down on us, but it broke down on the soccer team all the time. But like being on the charter bus.
Would Lupe drive you guys?
Yes.
Lupe. Yes. Sweet man. Rest in peace, Lupe. Like
I know.
Unbelievable.
But, like I feel like there's so many.
Best road trip.
Yeah. What's the best road trip?
Ooh, you remember like the best place that you all went to as a team?
Oh my gosh. You know, and honestly, just a little side note here before I answer, as I listened to some of the other athletes that were around, you know, that went or participated back when I was there,
Yeah.
They have like a wonderful memory. They'll name people and I'm like, oh my gosh, I forgot about that. I have such a horrible memory and I don't know if that's a good thing or not.
Selective.
Like,
Tap into that core.
Let me tell you a funny one because I'll never forget this one. So do y'all remember Christine Alvarez?
Yeah.
That's another one. Y'all need to
Blonde,
interview her too.
blonde woman. Yes, I remember.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we were on a like propeller plane. It was a small plane. I forget where we were going. Somebody would have that detail.
La
And
Bamba.
we caught turbulence. And
Oh.
I'm not even kidding. It felt like we just went like this and we just dropped.
Yep.
And she screamed. She was the only one in that entire little plane that screamed at the top of her lungs. And it broke the tension that we were all feeling when we were dropping. And we all started laughing. And then thank goodness that was the only experience on that ride. But that drop and her scream, oh my gosh, was so funny. So like things like that were, you know.
Oh, we got to get Christine on now. We got to ask her about the
if she remembers.
We got to ask her to do it, like redo the scream.
Yeah, redo the scream.
Not me, but maybe her.
And action.
But like another thing, you know, I remember you had just recently asked me too about one of the best games, which was during my senior year. I remember telling my mom, I'm going out with a bang. This is my senior year. I'm gonna, you know, make it to the top and different categories. And she's like, you go, mijita. And oh my gosh, after preseason, we had a game. Well, like over the summer, something weird happened with my knee because I was playing summer basketball league.
Oh,
I couldn't let those things go. I just love sports. Something popped, but I was like, I'm good. So during that, you know, first couple of games, I ended up tearing my knee. I tore my ACL, tore my ligaments on both sides. And they said, you know, you can still come back. Don't worry. And I thought my whole season was over. So I went through pretty quick and extensive rehab. I got the, what do you call it? The bionic leg brace. I looked super cool with it. And they even told me, don't worry. Do you know who Peekaboo Street is? And I said, yeah, she was an Olympic skier. And they said she's skiing with a torn ACL. So I felt like I had hope. Well, I got real strong and I came back to one of our first home tournaments there at Pan Am. And my first day was freaking amazing. And I had the brace on, right? So everybody was like, wow, this is so cool. Yeah. Second day, I went down and with my knee brace, like I hadn't had surgery or anything. And that second day, I was done. I made the newspaper. I was on the floor. Like they were like, Boykin's out. And then when I went to the locker to the training room with Jim Lancaster, you know, my mom and I had aunts that had come to see me. So they all walk into the training room. And of course I was upset. I was crying. I was mad. And I had come down a little bit. And then my mom says, well, mijita, you sure did go out with a bang. And then I was like, I started crying even more. Like that was the wrong thing to say to me in that moment. But that kind of ended and really shifted the course that came after for me. And God knows what he's doing. He had a different plan for me.
Yeah, he had a different plan.
But that was kind of like a sad moment, but it led me down a path that, you know, I've created a career out of. You know, I'm still doing. After that, I ended up, do y'all remember David Thorne? He was our coach after.
Coach Thorne, Dave. Yeah.
So after that, I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do with my life. All like negative, right? I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm not going to play volleyball for the rest of my life. And he's like, hey, there's this program, rehabilitation counseling, that's like in its second year in a master's program. And he's like, you should go talk to the dean. And so I did. And I met Dr. Irmo Marini, who I believe is still there at the university. And he too, we hit it off. He was an athlete in Canada playing hockey, and he sustained a life-changing injury. He has quadriplegia, and that was our connection, was athletics, right? And I had sustained this, minor injury.
Yeah.
But after that, I ended up going for my master's in rehabilitation counseling. I went through a fast track, so I graduated within a year and a half, if I'm not mistaken, because I was working with a scholarship on that. So literally all of my education got fully paid for bachelor's into my master's because of all the things that I applied for.
That's amazing.
And even though you got hurt, volleyball did that for you. And
volleyball, and a lot of my friends back then, they're all coaches now. It's so amazing. And they're all competing against each other. They're in the Valley.
Yeah.
Everybody thought I would be a coach. I never wanted to do that. Oddly enough, even despite how much I loved athletics, I just didn't
you were all into rehab. You were all into rehab.
I was, and I was really going the medical route. And it was funny. Lisa, she went into, if I'm not mistaken, she became a perfusionist. And she told me you should give it a look, because she knew that me and Vivian, another one, Montemayor.
Yeah, Vivian.
We were like the outliers. We weren't going into the field of teaching or athletics or all that. And I gave it a thought, but I really wanted to become a physician assistant. So I had applied and I got accepted there at Pan Am. But where I got beat out was every summer I worked hard for my athletic scholarship, right? To be in shape and whatnot. So where the other students beat me out was they had experience volunteering or getting jobs, even if it was at the lowest level in the medical field. So at the end of the day, what I'm doing now still gives me a little taste of that. I'm not doing anything physically like a therapy or any of that, but it's more mental, like how can we help you get better to get back out to the workforce?
I love that.
That is
You need to help us, because some days we're dragging ass to do this show. Like, I'm serious. It's like, call me and be like, hey, we got a show. I'm like, podcast? We're talking about a podcast?
Oh, no.
So Becky, I know we were joking around about being seasoned, but we're, I think we're all aging like fine wine.
Yeah, we're at a great age. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, seriously, you both look exactly the same from
I hope not. I saw pictures of me like last week when I was down on the island hanging out with these guys. We went through a whole bunch of photos and I was like,
oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, no.
No, you guys really look the same. It's not that, and that's a compliment.
Well, thank you.
Great.
Thank you.
What do you do to kind of, you're an athlete at heart, and I know you said, well, yeah, I don't run it. But what do you do to stay active these days?
I was kind of hoping you would ask me kind of this question, because when I graduated from Pan Am and was leaving, because I got a medical red shirt, but then I decided, is this my time to let it go? And that I had to make a hard decision, and I did. So I didn't extend it. But Jim Lancaster, again, I wonder if he remembers this. He's dealt with so many of us, over the years.
Shout out to Jim. He just retired too.
I know. But he said something to me. And at that time, again, we're young, we're naive, we don't know. But I was going into the work, the world of work. And he said, Becky, just remember, life is going to get busy. Life is going to get hard. Things are going to keep moving, but don't stop exercising. Keep yourself active. And I was like, of course, Jim. Like, I would never stop working out. And oh my gosh, the stress of work.
Yeah. The
first few years, not so bad. I was still playing volleyball, like with a bunch of my friends, like Debbie Puente, Lorena Lopez. We were all still playing like little volleyball with a little group. And then I tore my knee again.
Oh, no.
Not my ACL. But so when I got employed after that, after graduating, I got employed. A year after, I tore my knee again, had surgery. And then, just so you know, I had my third surgery in July last year.
Man,
so
I think I remember seeing that. You mentioned
that one wasn't that one wasn't so much athletics. It was my golden doodle. No joke, literally sweeping me off my legs. I took air and boom. And I was like, back, my knee.
Your dog pulled a Karate Kid, swept the leg. Like, oh my gosh.
If I was watching myself, I probably would have laughed, but it was no joke, extremely painful. I knew
Gee, we need to
would
get some
show its
footage of
ugly
that.
face a year later, and sure enough, it did. I had to have surgery because I could barely walk. But it always takes me back. I always think of Jim all the time when he says, "Don't let it go." Now I'm a mom.
Yeah.
So I'm a mom, a wife, I work, and it is so hard. But the way my husband and I get our exercise in is by waking up at 4:30 in the morning, 3 to 4 times a week. And we go to the Y here in San Antonio. It's close by. And we're at the gym by 5. We're out of there by 6:15. And then it's getting my son ready for school right now for camp.
Yeah.
And then getting ourselves ready for work. So it's hard. And Jim was right. He knew what he was telling me.
Jim is a guru. Jim is a guru.
Right. Jimmy was right in so many ways.
I know, right?
I remember when we walked into the training room one time, and we didn't drink a lot back then at all. But we would ask him, I said, "Hey, Jim, do you think a beer is okay, for after games or after practice?" He goes, "Oh yeah, absolutely. It'll replenish your carbs, it'll help you recover."
Yeah.
And we're looking at each other, but he meant 1 or 2, not
12, not like
12 pack.
Not like a keg.
Yeah.
Becky. So I think we took that to another level of trying to recover, but it kind of ended up hurting us.
That's funny.
Yeah.
But I'm sure you both, because I know you both are parents. I know you have your families, and it's hard to stay fit
difficult.
at our seasoned age. But
yeah,
we got to keep moving because we're only getting older, and we don't want our bodies to get stiff. And then look at how many injuries I've already had.
Yeah. I mean,
here's another one. I know you all know Kali. Remember him?
Yeah.
So he played volleyball a lot. He would trade me a lot. I loved like the sandball. Yeah, sandball. He would come to our practices sometimes.
Yeah.
There was one time where he crossed over the net. I was jumping and he was trying to block me, and he stepped over the net. I remember him feeling so bad about it. He sprained. I sprained my ankle because what happened was he stepped on my foot and I couldn't move, so it popped.
Yeah.
And my leg looked like somebody had beat me with a bat.
Oh.
They couldn't even take my shoe off. They had to cut it. And I remember him feeling so bad. So like those kind of injuries, the residual limitations of all that still kind of show their ugly face at this seasoned age.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're gonna bring that up to Kali. I'm not gonna let that guy live that down. Like that.
I'm like, have you all interviewed him?
No, not yet, but
we haven't got. Yeah, we're planning on it. We've been in talks with. There's a lot of people that we've got, kind of in the books, right? And so,
but
you can ask him about that. You say, remember when you injured Becky Boykin and I got a 3rd degree, a 3rd grade sprain. That's why, it looked like it was purple. It was like all sorts of beautiful colors from my knee all the way down to my ankle. Everything happened to my left side of my body in terms of injuries, left side. So if you see me kind of walking with a cool little, just know that was my left side.
I love the positivity though. It was a beautiful color on your ankle. That is such a great way to look at it. And we love your outlook. We love that memory lane, but we're going to go back to that. We're seasoned. We've got a lot of things. Got a lot of memories, right, from those days, right? What would be your favorite thing that you did as a hobby with your friends at UT Pan American? Like fun things that you did, places that you ate, that you would that you come back to and you're like, I gotta go and eat at that place because it brings back memories. Matt has one, and Matt can tell you right now, every time he comes to Edinburgh, Matt, where do you want to go?
I either want to go to Willie B's or or Costa Mesa.
Costa Mesa, yeah.
What are your spots? What is a spot that you used to hang out with, with the UTPA gang back then?
You guys, again, going back to some of the other people that you've interviewed, I'm like, I totally forgot about that. Like, I can't even, somebody talked about like, I never went, but like South Dallas, but I was like, oh my gosh, I haven't heard that in forever. But we
South
did go to
Dallas.
Mexico quite a bit. I
Yeah,
can't even tell you all the names of those places. I'm sure you guys know.
Yeah.
But
I mean, we do the show, so we get reminded of it all the time, right? But yeah, like places like 10th, what was it, 10th Avenue on
10th
10th Street,
Avenue.
right?
I mean,
Club
but
X, Metropolis,
Club X. I can't. If you say it, I'll
Frida,
remember it. But I
yeah,
don't
the
remember the
Alaskan,
names.
um,
All of
the
those.
Imperial. The Imperial was the one with the monkey, right? And let's see.
So we did go over there quite a bit, and it was fun. And we always
It was
got
a
back
different time. I
safely.
agree. It was you. I don't think people do it now, but at that time, it was
Yeah.
kind of like it was a lot safer, and so
Yeah, and everything that was down 10th Street. I don't remember all those. I mean, I felt like we were clubbing like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then we refocus, and then Saturday, here we go again. It was like, but I committed to my studies. If I said I was going to stay out, I would get my butt up if I had to be at school, or if I had a test, I would say no. Like I was very disciplined with that and say, no, I need to study for a test. And then I'd hear all the hype about what went down. And I was like, oh, I'm glad I wasn't at that one. Wasn't at that party.
That's funny that you say that we went out every day of the week, but we refocused on Friday.
yeah.
And then again, just to do it all, do it again. I
Yeah.
felt like they were back to back.
It was Thursday night, and there was Friday night, there was Saturday, and thank God there was no like Sunday fun days back then. There was no brunch, right?
Yeah.
Brunch really wasn't a thing back then, so it was like Sunday was kind of like, all right, let me just rest and watch, Braveheart and go to study hall. Right? So,
and like I think back at that, and I'm like, how the heck did I afford that? But I had my scholarship money, and I was pretty good at saving. I tried when I moved to San Antonio. I wanted to go out and do the same thing. Like, let's go out to lunch, and I'll get your lunch. And everybody would look at me like, no, I'll get my own. You get your own, kind of like, because we can't afford to pay you back. And it was kind of like that weird feeling. I remember thinking when people would come down San Antonio early on, I had to really stop because I was like, I'm gonna go broke because this is like a touristic town. So when people come in to visit, they're like, let's go here. And I'd be like, yeah. And then I'd be like, oh my gosh, I only have $10 left for the month. Like, I'm gonna be in trouble.
You know how many hot checks I wrote when I was in college? Like I had no idea. Like,
Oh my God.
I think I still have like a debt at Applebee's. I think when
every Applebee's in the valley, but like every city in Applebee's, he just
just wrote out.
Rotated.
Yeah, I think my picture is on the wall right by the door. Have you seen this man? So.
Oh, that's funny.
I remember.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of good spots. I mean, all the spots that you guys know, we were all there at the same time. We were probably all clubbing at the same moment too.
And think about it. We were clubbing when there was no debit cards. Like debit cards was not an issue.
How did we pay for that? I don't remember ever paying for anything back then. Like, how did I pay for things? I have no idea.
I just know I had money because of my scholarship.
I just know that G never paid for things, so that answers your question. So
I don't remember ever paying for things. I guess I don't know. I'm not sure, but
I don't remember you ever paying for anything either. So
thank you for that memory. Yeah, appreciate it.
No, I'm just kidding.
Awesome.
Hey, no, but we were, I'm so glad that Becky brought up that point of, going out, doing what what you want to do, but then doing what you have to do. And if any athlete is listening to this, Becky was a great athlete, suffered some injuries at the end, but everything had its plan. But at the end of the day, academics was first. And if any athlete is listening to this, we did have our fun, but you get up, right? You do what you have to do. You study when you have to study, and you get it. And there's a balance for everything. So Becky, thank you for bringing that up, because that's educational for anybody out there.
Yeah.
I mean, there are high schoolers that come up to Matt and I and are like, wow, you had this guy on the show, and it taught me, and I heard something that motivated me to work even harder at what I'm. So, man,
Becky, And I really gotta say, at the time, Coach Segovia really did instill in us those kind of goal seeking, like before practice. I don't know if y'all did this when you were on the team, but he would sit us down before practice, give us a pen and paper. We'd all be sitting in a line at a table, and he would ask us questions about where do you want to be in 5 years? What are you going to do to make that happen? And I really respect that he did that. It wasn't just about sports. It was really about what are you doing? We were one of the top teams.
Growing you as young women and leaders in the community. Yeah.
We were one of the athletic teams there at Pan Am that were on the top notch of the academic scale in comparison to other teams.
Yeah. Y'all used to always lead and then when Big O kind of started that the student
advisory committee.
Advisory committee, you guys were really well represented, and so you guys were always
to represent the team too. 1 or 2 years. We were always in study hall. I mean, it was no joke. Like, he was serious about it, and I remember a lot of that, and I really hold respect for that, because it wasn't just about that. It really got us thinking, right, about what our next steps with our futures were all about. So that was pretty cool. I know eventually there was some scandal with our group, and it's like, but those are the negative things, and we won't talk about that. But I respect that he did that to the team. And we did study hall. I don't know how it was for you guys either, but at the hotels, we had to be out in the hall at a certain time, and everybody was doing their homework. Again, he instilled that importance of what we had to hold ourselves accountable for. And if somebody messed up, like, if, we couldn't have during season, we couldn't eat fried food, we couldn't have cookies, or we couldn't have any of that. And he would check sometimes, and somebody messed up on our team one time. We were out of state, and that next morning, did we pay for it minus that person? So they got to watch us. Like, he was tough, but that's kind of how I view, like, if counseling, I'm gonna be like in your face kind of person, like, you want to change, you got to change this. But it was kind of psychological. Like, then we would get mad at that person and say, you're not ever gonna do this, and then we would get in their face, because we're like, you're part of this team or you're not. And he knew what he was doing.
That's awesome. I had no clue. I had no clue that it was that
intense, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. And coming in, I look back at that picture and I get scared. I weighed 99 pounds coming in as a freshman, and Coach Segovia said, we're going to get to 140. And I was like, ha, my metabolism is so fast. Good luck to you. Well, he did. And you know how he did it? Which was kind of heartbreaking for me too. But he said, like, everybody had to order a certain something when we were traveling. And he'd say, you can do 1 or 2, like, grilled chicken. And then he's like, Boykin, I want you to get the fried chicken. I want you to get the fries. I want you to get dessert. And I was like, is he testing me? But he wasn't. And that's how he got me bulked up. Like, I mean, I wasn't like huge, but I was skinny weenie when I came in, and he got me to 140 by letting me eat some of that and still working hard in the weight room. And, you
gain muscle,
muscle
mass. Wow. That's amazing.
That was crazy.
That's amazing. Those, but those are things that shaped you as a human being. I mean, you're utilizing
discipline.
All that discipline. You're utilizing it now, and you know what? You're utilizing it, having to get up at 4:30 in the morning. Oh my gosh, man. You're over here complaining about 9 o'clock. Come on, man.
I mean, remember the 2 days?
Oh yeah, I remember the 2 days. I remember the 2 days.
But
I remember the first day. I remember the first day I stepped on campus. It was in August of '96. I drove down I left my parents' house, took that little 5-hour trip, got to campus like probably mid-afternoon, and I walked in the gym because that was the first place I went to, and y'all were practicing, and it was intense, and I was like, damn, volleyball's already in season. Like, they're already practicing, like,
August.
I was a freshman. I didn't know how college athletics worked, but I just remember like this is a whole nother level of like athletes. Like this is different.
Yeah, yeah,
I
very
still remember that.
different, eye-opening for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
You
For
know, that
sure.
summer going into my freshman year, I didn't know what to expect. So they gave us a workout and they said, here's something that you could follow. I followed it to the T and I came in really strong. I came in that first, first day of two a days. I kept up because I was healthy. I was fit,
Well,
but
I
yeah.
think we're well. I'm glad you brought that up because I think it's time we need to ask a couple of questions because we're running out. We're running short on time. The question I have for you, Becky, is, obviously, being an athlete, music is kind of part of all of our lives, right? And so we have I don't know if you knew this, but we have a Saddle Up Spotify playlist. So all the athletes contribute 2 songs to the playlist. So it's just a a smorgasbord of like music, right? And so
Yeah.
the question I have for you is give me one song from that era, like when you were playing, that you would listen to really get yourself hyped to just jump over the net. Like what is it that Becky was listening to? Was it, Bop by the Hansons? Was it like, what was it? Was it Tupac? Like you kind of look a little hood sometimes. Like what kind of got you in the mood to just dominate the volleyball court?
Okay, so you all are gonna shoot me here because I'm not gonna remember a single title to anything. Like I didn't remember the name of any restaurant. But if you play something for me, I will know the words to everything, right? Even my
Oh,
son to this day is like, "Mama, how do you know so much? How do you know so many words to all the songs?" But I mean, it if it's on your playlist now, I was listening to it. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. I mean, anything that was really hype that would, hip hop, I remember listening to that a lot.
Yeah.
You guys would be able to riddle me those songs, but I honestly am really bad at that. Even names
How
of
about
movies, I can't tell you.
how about now, Becky? What gets you motivated now?
what song? What song? Yeah, what song is
I
it?
listen to, I mean, I love all music, so I still listen to a lot of, music minus heavy metal, but I do listen to a lot of Christian music. It's the
Okay.
positive
So
stuff.
give us a give
Positive.
us a give us a
Give
Christian
us a
song.
Christian song.
I love like everything Lauren Daigle,
Lauren
Colton.
Daigle.
He has a song, but again, I'm not going to be able to tell you the name. But once you play it, I
Yeah.
can sing it for you.
Okay.
Colton Dixon, he's another one of my favorite
Colton
artists.
Dixon. Okay. I
Um,
will find the best Colton Dixon song and add it to the playlist. And
I mean, there's so many wonderful Christian artists. I mean, there's
nice.
too many.
And this is the beauty of the playlist on Spotify, right? You can listen to Ice Cube and then Snoop Dogg and then Tupac, and then you can turn around. If you have it
Oh
on
my
shuffle, you
gosh.
can listen to Colton Dixon, you
And
know?
Lauren. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a station here in San Antonio and it's all of the songs that are probably on your playlist. And boy, does it take you back that you're just like, I'm driving into work sometimes and I just need that little pump and I'll turn that on and I'm just bouncing, but,
Little Biggie, little Tupac. Yeah.
I really
Yeah.
do. I do like the Christian station K-Love.
Cool. We're gonna add a song. We're gonna add 2 songs for you from that.
Awesome.
And so, yeah, if you'd like, go ahead and subscribe because it will take you down that memory lane when you're not listening to the podcast, right? And so,
That's awesome.
Let's wrap it up. I think it's time for her and this and that. And I would like to point out that this and that has become so popular, right?
Yeah.
And G kind of not invented the game, but he brought the game to the podcast. It has become so popular that it has been imitated or duplicated.
Yeah.
I don't want to say stolen, but
No.
it has been replicated by the university and their social media
Cool.
department.
Yeah.
And now they do this and that. So shout out to Julie and Sarah, but yeah, they're doing this and that
Yeah.
also.
Hey, don't talk about season. My eyes are season 2. I got to put my glasses on for this segment of, hey, so during this segment, we like to give away some gift cards. And Becky, since you're going to be down here, I don't know where I can leave you the gift cards or how I can get them to you, but Wing Barn takes care of us. This speed round of questions is sponsored by Wing Barn, and they give anybody that plays Wing Barn's all over the locally all over the valley, and so we'd love to give you some gift cards for playing.
Awesome.
All right, for you and your family. All right, you ready? It's this or that. I'm gonna give you, this or the other. So Catwoman or Wonder Woman. You're gonna say, of course, whatever you love to say.
Right? Yeah, whatever you love to say. Yeah.
Whatever your opinion is on it. Okay.
Right.
Okay. Catwoman or Wonder Woman?
Wonder Woman.
Okay. Coke or root beer?
Ooh, root beer.
Okay, good one. Cheesecake or pecan pie?
Ooh, cheesecake.
Okay. Ooh, I have to leave this one in here because it's popular. Jordan or LeBron?
I'm gonna go with Jordan.
Yes. No, I mean no.
LeBron's great. Like that doesn't mean, but I'm just like,
You're in 90s. You grew up in the 90s, right? The 80s, 90s. Like, you get it. I get it.
But like, hey, shout out to Mike Macias.
All right. This is like a Misty May or Carrie Walsh.
Oh, come on.
I don't know.
Shout out to Christine Phillips, by the way.
I mean, that's right there.
What do you think?
Misty May.
Yes. All right. Shout out to Christine. Walmart or H-E-B?
What was that?
Walmart or H-E-B?
H-E-B.
Good one. Ice bath or sauna?
Ooh. Ice bath.
We're seasoned now, Beck. Like, it's got to be the ice bath.
Yes, ice bath.
Shakira or J-Lo?
Shakira.
Mm-hmm. Beach or mountains?
Beach.
All day long.
All
Peanut butter
day.
or jelly?
What was it?
Peanut butter or jelly?
Peanut butter or jelly?
Yeah.
Oh,
peanut butter.
Peanut butter. Got it. Boat or plane?
Oh, plane.
As long as it's not a propeller plane, right, Beck?
I know, not one that drops.
Not one that drops. I got you. Rap or country?
Oh, that's another really good one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna. That's neck and neck. I'll say country.
Oh, I can just imagine just Becky walking around her kids like at camp. Husband's at work. She's got a day off. She's got like a do-rag, just like tied.
I never dressed up country.
Listen to Tupac.
So many good songs there, but maybe I should have said hip hop rap.
Yeah, hip hop. Yeah, hip hop country. Hip hop country. That's it. That's coming up.
There you go.
Scary or drama?
I'm sorry, you can't hear.
Scary movie or drama?
Oh, drama.
Drama. Okay. All right. Last one. Saddle Up podcast or Joe Rogan podcast?
Oh.
Saddle up.
Hey! Thank you for playing, Becky. Really,
awesome.
Becky, you are awesome. You were such an amazing person, and you've always been such a good friend to us. In our years while we were student athletes together, and just you've always been the same person. And it's been almost 30 years that we've all kind of been together. In that setting. More or less.
That we've even talked. This is the first time.
This is the first time we've talked in decades.
But I feel like I've been talking to you guys because I've been watching the podcast, right? But yeah, you're right. I mean, this is the first time that we've really talked since back then.
Yeah, exactly. And we're all friends on Facebook, so we see what's going on in each other's lives as much as respectively we share. But at the same time, like this is the first time that we've actually talked to you in 20 years.
It'd be so cool to have everybody join.
Oh,
that'd be fun.
Hey, let us worry about our own show, Beck. Okay, thanks.
Oh, you guys are killing me.
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. That is a great idea. Let's see if we can make that happen. We can make that happen. Or
better yet, in person. Let's do an in-person gathering.
That would be. They've always talked about doing a homecoming or like a an athlete reunion. I think think if there's enough people from different sports that have pool, like, you know, volleyball or basketball or women's basketball, whatever, if you can get enough people from respective sports to kind of pull together and gravitate everybody to come,
One
I think
place at the same
awesome.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the tough part. But
Yeah,
hey,
it's the time. Yeah.
Saddle Up reunion, Becky. You're in. We'll get everybody else in. You lead. Everybody will follow.
I think
awesome.
I think a great time would be, and this is just off the top of my head, the first home football game in 2025. I think that would be a reason to get everybody there, and like, you know, because when we were at the state,
is there a stadium?
Yeah, there's a stadium. Yeah, it's a football stadium.
Oh, dang. Okay.
Yeah, so when you go down the valley this weekend, you need to go check it out. It's where the Super Splash water park used to be.
Oh, shoot. Wow. Yeah, I mean, we pass by the university all the time, but I only pass on the 107.
Yeah, no, it's like Freddie Gonzalez to the left.
Okay.
To the east of the expressway. But anyway, yeah, thank you so much for joining us. We do need to get everybody together. I think that would be great. I think that would be that'd be so much fun. You know,
I love that you all are doing this. This has really been so much fun to watch everybody that you're interviewing. And honestly, like other people have said, the young ones that are watching, but there's so many people that have such inspirational stories, you know, that were athletes then and have moved on, and to see what everybody's doing and doing it well in their own right. It's pretty cool that you all have done this. And I'm so thankful that you've given me this opportunity. Thank you for your patience with me and getting me scheduled.
Thank you, Becky.
We would love to have you back if you ever fit us into your schedule. So this might be your only episode. So, you know, I'm just kidding.
No, anytime. I'd be ready to come back.
We would love to have you back. You were such an inspirational person, and you were one of the people that we thought of when we were kind of putting the idea on paper to have you as a guest. So we're really thankful that this came true for us. So thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Hey, Becky.
All right.
Hey, go Bronx. Keep moving.
Keep moving.
Keep moving.
Moving, guys.
Keep moving,
guys.
Like, we weren't supposed to come up with something this clean. You know, like, something happened.